I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Friday.
Yes, deep breath. You only got about 8 hours in front of you.
710 KNUS here in Denver.
And on AM 1460 along with FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. Billy, you know what we should do after the show here?
What?
Let's go get some drinks, and I know who can pay for it.
Who?
The taxpayers of Denver.
Okay, I'm in for that. Free drinks is always a favorite of mine.
Here's the headline from the Denver Post. Denver auditor says group funded by dedicated tax is lax on grant reviews, spent thousands on alcohol.
Yeah, and meals. They wanted to eat a lot.
Exactly
That's
right.
what they were doing. So it's not like they were holding keggers every weekend, but they were going out and having drinks with their meals on the taxpayer dime. And here's the question I have on this one. And it's not necessarily illegal, but I think there's a moral or ethical question about this, is that if you are going out and having a business dinner or lunch and you're doing it and the company or the taxpayer are paying for it, how many drinks are you having? How often in those type of business meetings do you think it's appropriate to have alcohol? Well, you're on the clock. You're on the clock. I mean, the idea is you're on the clock. Can I take that bottle of Jack, that vodka, maybe it's that delicious limoncello, and just hide it in my desk? Now, if I pour out 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I pull out a highball and I pour myself 2 fingers, you're going to look at me like I got a problem. But if I take a client out to lunchy, we can do the same thing, and it's viewed as business. And more importantly, in this case, we, the taxpayers, are on the hook. Is that one ethical, moral behavior in this day and age? I understand we at one time had the 3 martini lunch. I understand that Mad Men era. This is a little bit different.
3? Is that the same?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was the 3 martini lunch. Yeah, it was the 3 martini lunch. That was the saying.
Nothing got done for the rest of the day?
No, and that was all lunch was 3 martinis. Nothing got done the rest of the day, but that was the deal. And so it was the 3 martini lunch, and that was then. The times have changed now. Someone drinking that heavily in and around work would be looked at with the side eye and possibly even reprimanded or removed from the office. But in this case, the people that are responsible for the taxpayer money are going out there and having you and I pick up the bill. And there's part of me that believes, and this is just my opinion, it is more egregious when you are doing it on the taxpayer dime than if you are doing it through a private company. Even public company bothers me a little bit. Private company I can see. Public company bothers me a little bit, because, shareholder value, some other things, is this really the proper way to be using those resources? But when we get to taxpayer money, I've got a real issue with you going out and buying alcohol during your lunches in which you're smoozing clients, donors, whatever. I got a real issue there. If you think it's appropriate, there is absolutely nothing that is stopping you from splitting that check. From saying, put the alcohol on this card and pull that out of your pocket. Every single restaurant will do that. You can make the choice. It's not like you're prevented from doing it. It's just your brain.
No,
it's telling you not to.
Churchill started each morning with a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. Now this goes way back. Now Pete would probably tell you who the actual radio star is of the day. I will not. But there is a famous Denver radio personality that is no longer around or on the air that modified their briefcase so they could hold over a 6-pack of beer and wander into the office every day, open the briefcase, and drink the beers while on air. And you could also, the best thing about it was they cut out styrofoam on the inside of the briefcase. They could pull the empties out. You didn't have to leave the proof back in the studio afterwards. Yeah. So I've been around. I know people that are serious professional drinkers, been in an industry that grooms them. I get it. I've been around it. That's why I feel in this case, I got a real strong opinion. about this one and how wrong it is.
We'll give you the latest. This is the Caring for Denver Foundation. And yes, if you've bought anything in Colorado or in Denver recently, you have paid for this foundation. It relies on a 0.25% sales tax designed to help people with mental health and substance abuse programs. What it has actually done is sent money to allow the executives at the Caring for Denver Foundation to go have very nice lunches, including $3,000 spent on alcohol. We'll get to all this and more. Now is time for the news.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good morning. TGIF 14 with cloudy conditions in Denver. 16 in the Springs, expecting highs in the low 30s today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning. For a new home heating and cooling system, contact your Lennox dealer, Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at pastorcamp.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Our top story, NOAA in Boulder says that snowpack levels remain well below normal despite recent snowstorms across Colorado. Record warmth has caused snow to melt quickly, leaving snowpack far below normal ahead of spring runoff. Forecasters expect continued warm, dry conditions making recovery unlikely. Low snowpack threatens downstream water supplies, with Lake Powell projected at just 38% of its 30-year average. Senator Hickenlooper was in the Springs on Thursday criticizing a proposed DJT administration freeze on certain federal child care funds. The administration cited fraud concerns, but Hickenlooper said that there is really no evidence of misuse in Colorado and warned the pause could hurt families and providers. Congressman Jeff Crank called for transparency to ensure legitimate programs continue receiving support. DPS considering a new policy that would limit cooperation with ICE. Board President Sochi Gaitan says that the district is committed to protecting all students and employees alike, regardless of legal status.
Seen in other cities in the nation where federal authorities have overstepped their bounds and have detained parents at children's schools.
The plan would make school. Yes.
Can we just go back to what she said?
Yeah, here, I'll play it again for you.
Seen in other cities in the nation where federal authorities have overstepped their bounds and have detained parents at children's schools.
Have they?
Well, no, but can we just talk about the phrase overstepped their bounds?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, who's overstepping their bounds?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute.
We have this
I think
problem.
you took one big step for man and one giant leap for mankind.
We have this problem because a whole lot of people, namely 10 million of them, overstepped their bounds.
Yes.
And now,
just a little bit.
Now she's upset that the feds trying to enforce the law may overstep their bounds.
That's funny. T-shirts. Right. Everybody needs T-shirts. Overstepping their bounds. God, that is good, man. I like that. I really like that. Okay, safe zones will be prepared in this situation, DHS says. But DHS, I'm sorry, the school district says that. DHS says that raids in schools are rare. The proposal will be open for public comment on March 5th. Overstep your bounds. The National Governors Association says it will no longer facilitate its annual meeting at the White House after 47 rescinded invitations to 2 Democratic governors. Guess who they are? One of them is Polis. Maryland Governor Moore and Polis were disinvited to today's business meeting, leading several Democrats to decline, including Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Commerce City police are investigating after a woman was found dead early Thursday morning. The 23-year-old was found on a sidewalk in the 6200 block of Glencoe Street around 4:30. She had head trauma, and police are investigating the death as a homicide. No information about possible suspects has been released. 47 is giving Iran about 2 weeks to make a deal with the U.S. DJT said that he won't discuss a possible strike and will give the current negotiations about 10 to 15 days. The former Prince Andrew has been released from police custody. They detained the brother of King Charles for several hours Thursday for misconduct in public office. Yeah, you could say that. Authorities allege that Andrew shared confidential information with Satan Epstein. 47 criticizing the strategy being used by authorities in the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie. Get that.
The 84-year-old mother of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie has been missing for nearly 3 weeks from her home near Tucson, Arizona, and authorities are hoping her pacemaker could reveal her location. On Air Force One Thursday, Trump was critical of the investigation, claiming they were talking about going after the pacemaker before they even started going after it, and said, "I can't imagine why they would have done that." Trump then added, "We have to start reporting on other subjects." In Arizona, I'm Wendy Swanson.
The husband of the U.S. Labor Secretary has been banned or barred from the department's headquarters after allegations of sexual assault. One more time.
Multiple outlets are reporting that two women told officials they were touched inappropriately by Sean DeReamer, the husband of Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeReamer. The women accusing DeReamer are staff members with the department. He has been banned from the Department of Labor's headquarters, and a police investigation into the allegations is reportedly underway. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Women's hockey gold medal goes to Team USA, a 2-1 victory over Canada in overtime at the Winter Games. Semifinals for the men's team today versus Slovakia. The Clippers clip the Nuggets 115-114 last night. Nikola Jokic had 22 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists. In the loss, Jamal Murray scored 20. It's 16 in the Springs, 14 in Denver. That's the latest. I'm Blake Olson. More of the Jeff and Bill Show ahead on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver, and now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1 The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show.
The second of 3 waves has now moved out of Colorado. We're going to see a winter storm across the plains of Nebraska into parts of the northwest Corn Belt with cold Canadian air coming in behind the system. You're going to find temperatures here in Denver and Colorado Springs much colder than what we've been used to lately. We're going to spend most of today in the mid to upper 30s, teens tonight, and Denver and Colorado Springs will only be in the 30s on Friday. Now, wave number 3, the last of these waves, comes through on Friday. And while it's not going to be a big storm, we're going to see a little bit of light snow developing along the I-25 corridor, out across 70, both in the mountains and on the plains. So travelers keep that in mind. Light dusting to snow Friday and Friday night, and continued quite cold through Saturday. Temperatures rebound with high pressure returning as we get into Saturday afternoon, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. In the meantime, be ready for a little bit of winter. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
710 KNUS here in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 along with FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show where you get both sides. Here's the headline from the Denver Post. Denver auditor says group funded by dedicated tax is lax on grant reviews, spent thousands on alcohol. A taxpayer-funded group that has a mission of preventing suicide and helping people with substance abuse problems has misused thousands of dollars in recent years, according to a report issued Thursday by the Denver Auditor's Office. By the way, these auditors, they're going to become superheroes if they are able to dive into a lot of stuff, like why the auditors in Minnesota weren't able to pick some of that stuff up, and it took citizen journalists to get it. But you have the ability to be a real winner as an auditor if you can discover this stuff. Among the audit's findings is that an executive from the Caring for Denver Foundation, which receives a dedicated portion of the city's sales and use tax, spent more than $3,000 of taxpayer money to buy expensive alcoholic drinks as part of the group's high spending on meals. The staff spent more than $28,000 on meals over 3 years, the report says. Now, this isn't like fundraising benefit banquet dinner.
Yeah. This isn't like the gala, the celebration, the handing out awards or saying thank you or celebrating contributions of your donors or your staff.
These are one-offs.
Yeah, this is taking the people that write the checks out to lunch, or in some cases possibly taking staff out to lunch, or possibly taking their own family and friends out to lunch, because we don't know. We do know that they went out and they had all of these meals and threw the alcohol in there on our dime. And the number of instances is, for me, what is shocking. It's the amount is significant, but it is the over and over and over again that this group feels that taxpayer money should be used to feed them. I'm sorry, what is your mission as a group or an organization? Does taking those people that work there, and the fun part is this is what we know here on the Jeff and Bill Show. We all know that the people going out there and doing the fancy lunches and getting the fancy alcohol drinks, you know, the ones that sometimes have the extra fruit or maybe the fancy straws in them, we know these aren't the rank and file people. That receptionist that is there at the front desk, she's not doing this. Those people that are in accounting, that are balancing the books every day, they're not doing this. No, it's the people in the fancy offices with the better desks than everybody else. The people that have the chairs that are better than everybody else's in their office. The people have the better views in their offices. Those are the people that were going out and doing this. Those are the people.
It gets better. The organization has also given out grants for purposes that are technically outside of what's allowed under city ordinance.
Maybe they were drinking at the time.
You ready for these?
I couldn't help myself. Yeah.
Healing circles and self-care. Sometimes if you have 3 martinis, you might need a healing circle.
Yeah, and okay, I'm just going to say this because we're just with our new friends, The Answer in Colorado Springs, and sometimes I am absolutely the problem on this show. And I have this superpower that my father identified early on in life, where I knew exactly where the line was and then would proudly step over it. And the number of things that are going through my head right now, talking about what they're doing for self-care, just insert your own joke, whatever it is. Go to your middle school playground.
A slow pitch over the middle of the plate for you.
And I had to hold. Oh my God, I wanted to swing. It could be the high school joke, maybe it's college joke, whatever it is. Insert your own joke there, because the first 3 things that popped in my mind. I can't say on the air. So yes.
In other instances, Caring for Denver gave money to groups that lied on their grant applications, according to the report. These expenses show a disregard for fiscal accountability, Auditor Tim O'Brien said in a news release. But of course, why not? It's not their money. This is one of the biggest problems we have anytime the government funds something, because it's not technically their money. They didn't have to go out and raise it. They didn't have to work hard to develop it. It was simply handed to them. Handed to them because the government, at the point of a gun, took it from Denverites via tax. If you decide you're not going to pay the tax, well, things aren't going to work out all that well for you. So the government, the big bully here, takes your money, hands it to an organization, and of course it's going to things it shouldn't have. Of course it's being spent on meals and alcohol. Of course they weren't analyzing the grant applications all that closely. Why would they? The money just appears and will continue to appear. The Denver Auditor's Office is charged with serving as a watchdog for Denver government and regularly produces reports looking into the finance of various agencies and taxpayer-funded organizations, making public recommendations on how they can make improvements. In 2018, Denver voters approved an initiative creating a 0.25% sales tax to create the Caring for Denver Fund, which is managed by the Caring for Denver Foundation. It is among several dedicated sales taxes approved by voters to support various causes over the last decade. So remember when they come to you with these little ballot initiatives and say, we're just going to raise it a little bit. A 0.25% sales tax, it's not that big. And look at all the great stuff it's going to do. And they'll always throw in the kids. It's going to benefit the kids. All right. As we've seen here, as we've seen with money for mental health, for homelessness, this money is not going to actually solve anything other than provide jobs for people who work in this industry. That's what all of those hundreds of millions of dollars on homelessness has gotten you. We haven't seen big success with people getting out of homelessness, but we've provided jobs for people that work in the homeless industry. So, yeah, when you are approached with these ballot initiatives, always vote no. If the nonprofit is so important, it's doing such good work, people will naturally fund it, i.e., Step Denver, which actually gets people out of homelessness and doesn't require a dime from the government. All right, let's talk advanced hair restoration. Guys, if you're losing your hair and desire to have it back, then Advanced Hair Restoration has the easiest guaranteed solution. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results. I've seen it with my own eyes. Guys, it's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Paul's modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it will grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now, 720-459-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver and has changed the lives of tens of thousands of people. So don't wait. Check out the before and afters online for yourself, 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com, 720-459-HAIR, advancedhair.com. Mr. Thorpe.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw this, but it was at the very end of a Kyle Clark piece yesterday on this, because he was covering this too.
I didn't watch him yesterday.
One of the board members.
And, on a side note, I tried to watch, and I'm not going to, we're going to commercial break here in a bit. There weren't a lot of commercials. I had a break in the afternoon about the time that Kyle was on, and I went to look, and they were on commercial. And so I went to something else, and that other station that was doing news was on commercial. And then after the third one, I'm like, forget this. I'm going back to YouTube for a little bit, and I checked in twice more. Every time, they were on commercial. It's just my bad luck. I'm not saying that, but it sure felt like they were doing a lot of commercials. Okay, go ahead. So Kyle was doing
Clark,
this yesterday.
As they're finishing this show, like almost last sentence, just points out that one of the board members of the Caring for Denver Foundation happens to be a Channel 9 employee.
Oh, interesting.
So they'll have to deal with that.
Yeah.
How about the oversight taking place?
Yeah.
All right. We've got more to come, including the phone calls. We'll get to you, Dave. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you get to hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show. We'll be right back.
.710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. And Billy, it seems like everybody agrees that, look, you got to take the employees out every once in a while. That's fine. You got to take a major donor out. That's okay. Never okay to at least charge alcohol to taxpayers in Denver. That is definitely not right. So lots of interest in this story, including coverage from Channel 9. But the Denver auditor pointing out that a group funded by dedicated tax spending thousands on alcohol, nice lunches. I hope, my friend, that our culture is waking up to the idea of the corruption that can take place when there's a lot of tax dollars that show up and you don't have a lot of transparency, either because government leaders don't want to offend a particular voter group like you saw in Minneapolis, or in this case, it's just showing up. You're in Denver and we need these auditors to be paying attention to this stuff.
Yeah.
This is our money, and I know just about everybody in my life facing challenges, financial challenges, to try to make it in this state. So the fact they're facing challenges, making cuts in their lives, and these yahoos down in Denver, funded by their tax dollars, are going out and having nice lunches and alcohol? Come on. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Dave, Denver. Good morning, Dave. You got a question on the Nancy Guthrie case, huh?
Yeah, so I love your show. I don't envy you having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It is no fun. Yeah, there aren't. We always often Jeff and I joke, Dave, that not many people know there are 2 4 o'clocks every day, but we see them both. It's not fun.
Yeah,
but what's on your mind, man?
Well, I love the show. A quick question: the Guthrie thing. I've not heard of any use of bloodhounds. Have you?
I've heard the use of cadaver dogs.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw pictures of them, but yeah.
We had in Colorado, you may remember, about 40 years ago, a bloodhound named Yogi. Remember Yogi, the super dog?
Oh, yeah, I do remember Yogi. Yeah.
Yeah, and a little girl was abducted and ended very tragically, but Yogi led about a 40-mile search, and they found this little girl's body, and they solved the case.
Wow. Now, this is going to be a difficult conversation between Jeff, Dave, myself, and the audience this morning. Dave, this is a hard one, and you can pass on this question if you want to, but do you think that Savannah Guthrie's mom is still alive?
I really don't know. It every day gets less and less. I just have problems with the way this sheriff handled this whole thing. He saw they caught him going to a basketball game or something right in the middle of this, and just they're all personnel problems.
What worries me is some of the things, and again, I don't know. I haven't been paying as close attention as I did back during things like the Ramsey investigation as far as what was going on. So I don't know the process of the investigation going on in Arizona. But from this distance, hundreds and hundreds of miles away, I am worried that the original investigation made some mistakes, probably not as egregious as the Ramsey investigation. For those of you that are maybe new to Colorado, understand that when Jean-Benet Ramsey was killed in the house in Boulder, the police allowed friends and family to wander the house unfettered. Yeah. And so it contaminated everything inside the house. I don't see that happening in Arizona, but I'm worried that there was something early on in the investigation that either compromised something, potentially hurt something. I'm worried about it because it's taking so long, and it seems like they're coming up with no real clues. And what do you do, Dave, with the idea that this kidnapping or burglary, whatever it may have been, seems to have been planned? But so far, my opinion is the appearance of the ransom demand, etc., seems to be unplanned. What do you think about that? Do you share that opinion? And what do you think? I mean, do you think this was a kidnapping for ransom? Was it burglary gone wrong? Just in your casual observation so far, what's the impression you've gotten?
Well, I've heard that perpetrators, they do make mistakes. They get kind of sloppy. And things like the glove, they kind of leave as a calling card, and, kind of like catch me if you can.
Yeah.
So they do some things planned, they do some things unplanned, but it's like, they want to, they're egotists, I think, and they want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, every time I keep coming to the idea of this was really well planned and this was some sort of either a cartel or maybe this was someone. I even saw stuff in social media that was floating around yesterday. Oh, we haven't talked about this on the air. Okay, Dave, I'm going to break this with you and Jeff in the audience here. This is not like new information. Some of y'all probably seen it on social media, but I didn't run into it until yesterday. But there was a conspiracy theory balloon that went up in my social media feed yesterday afternoon that said that this whole Guthrie kidnapping is an Epstein revenge. And the
I've seen that.
and the reason being because Savannah was supposed to be the first person that interviewed Epstein, the first person that was digging into it and going after it. And so it's supposed to be a warning to her, which, again, I think that if that was true, we wouldn't have all of these videos from the Guthrie family, etc.
Nancy would have said it. Or not Nancy.
Yeah.
Savannah would have said it, and
Yeah, she
Savannah would
would've
have been
come
like, those are the guys.
Yeah.
These guys threatened me. Now
Yeah.
my mom's gone.
Exactly. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. And that's the thing is, every time I keep thinking that maybe this was, something like a large revenge plot, or maybe this was cartels coming in to do X, Y, or Z, or maybe it is a real kidnapping for money, I keep remembering about the amateur nature of the theft at the Louvre in Paris, where they drop some of the jewels as they're escaping. So I every time I try to get to think, oh, this is so well planned, I keep reminding myself of that and go, no, sometimes these guys are just idiots that get lucky sometimes. But I don't know.
Yeah, I wish the FBI would have taken it over from day one.
Yeah.
And because the FBI, if they want to get you, they usually always can. That lab is incredible.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
I will be amazed to see what the DNA can point to at this point. Right? They're going through the familial DNA to see if they can locate it.
To see if they have anything there, and it's just so weird. And the way that kind of the spooling out of information at times and the trickle of information gets difficult. I don't know.
We'll have to see. What do you think? Join the conversation. Jump in here, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Speaking of Danny C., Dan Caplis. I think the world of this guy. Absolutely sterling reputation. 40 years of getting justice for people who've been hurt in motor vehicle crashes. But more than that, he got justice for that family who lost their little girl on that amusement park ride in Glenwood Springs. She fell, lost her life. By diving into that case, right? Not doing the settlement, but diving into it, he was able to discover that the amusement park company had trained its employees how to work around alarms going off. Now, that doesn't just bring justice to the family that was injured in this case. That improves the safety of amusement park rides for all of us because he held that company accountable. Dan Caplis gets justice. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado history. Dan Caplis Law, the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law, serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call, 303-770-5551. 303-770-5551 or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, CAPLIS Law.com. Let's go back to the phone lines. Eric in Denver. Good morning, Eric. What's on your mind this morning?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. I stumbled. How are you guys doing, first of all?
Good, man. Thanks for joining us on Friday. How you doing?
Not too bad. Just kind of building a truck as I listen to you guys.
First of all, what kind of truck? What kind of truck are you building? What are you building, man?
I'm building an F550 right now with a hauler body on it.
Oh, with a Hummer body on it?
No, it's a hauler body.
Oh, hauler.
Like,
okay, that's a Hummer body. I'm like, wow, you're dropping the thing onto the frame. Ooh, a hauler. What are you going to use it for?
It's for a company that finds power and ties it into new towns and stuff. It's like an exploring type truck.
Oh, cool.
I can't say the company.
So far putting it together, what has been the big gremlin that you found that you're like, I wish that I didn't find this? What's been the unexpected problem you've come across putting this thing together?
I got a new winch on the front that is different from the design I've dealt with in the past. Oh. And the grill guard that it goes on, all of it has changed. Made it a little tough, but I got through it.
Hey, congratulations. Give us an update later on when the thing's all full. We'd love to see a text picture of what you're working on and when it's finished up, man. But and you can text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line. But yeah, go ahead, man. You want to talk about Savannah Guthrie?
Yes. I don't check Instagram very much, but I did see a lady on there. It made a lot of sense, and she was saying how Savannah Guthrie's husband used to be an advisor for Hillary Clinton. And then Hillary was called to the Hill, and then her advisors are going to be called to the Hill. And then Savannah Guthrie's mom is missing. And it's just, there's a lot going on here, and that's probably why we're not getting a lot of answers, because there's more than what we know. This is a linchpin of things, I think.
Yeah, now think about that. Now, let's say that, if it's something with Hillary Clinton, the question then is who might be responsible for it? And the other thing that I'm worried about is, and the reason I brought up the Epstein thing is that nature abhors a vacuum. And if we don't have a solution, our brains want to find a solution and want to invent something. So in that that conspiracy theory about Clintons, I mean, do they think the Clintons are behind it? Do they think there's someone else that's a power broker? Because the question that I would have after seeing that would be who is the the man or the woman behind the curtain?
Well, I get that. I totally understand, but her husband did work with Hillary, and it's just crazy how all of a sudden her mom's missing, and during the time of where she's about to get called up on the stand, and so is he. And I don't know. I think there's some leverage going on here.
Yeah,
more than meets the eye.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. And that's one thing that also, and give us an update on that truck, man. The thing that surprises me a lot in cases like this, and again, I'm going to connect this back to the Epstein files, is the idea that how connected, and you've got more experience than I do, my friend in D.C., you lived there for a while, how connected everybody is, that if you start pulling strings, a person that is here, and you could play 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon
exactly
with almost anybody there, and you wouldn't have to get to 6. You get to 3 before you find a connection. I mean, that's the thing that's kind of surprising me, is we pulling back some of the layers on some of these scandals, that how interwoven all of it is. But Jeff and you and I moan and complain all the time about how come everybody in Congress all of a sudden gets that magic stock trading class when they arrive, and all of a sudden they're genius stock traders. So, yeah.
Chess Rockwell with the text message, Hillary's eating grannies. All right, we'll continue. We got You Choose the News Loser Edition. Coming up, you're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now waking up with AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you get to hear both sides, and sometimes some weird conspiracy theories. It's usually my fault. This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All across the Front Range, Jeff and Bill embarrass each other with You Choose the News.
Yes, it is that time of the morning where we get to make questionable choices, and it's Friday. It's the loser edition. We'll talk about it more in a second. Get ready, all you losers. Talk about stories.
You are one pathetic loser.
Loser!
Let's go. Loser! You're a loser!
The Losers Club.
Bunch of losers.
You're such a loser. You made me feel like a loser!
She's a loser.
You are such a loser.
Loser.
Yes, as you know, here on the Jeff and Bill Show before 7 o'clock, and that's the important part, we play You Choose the News, America's favorite fake radio news game show, because nobody that has any power or has any decision-making capabilities is awake before 7. So we are left completely and totally unsupervised at this time, so we play this game with you, for fun, and it's kind of funny. Also, we step over the line a couple of times, but that's all in good fun. But shh, that's why this is a secret. You can't tell anybody about what we're doing here, otherwise we get in trouble. Okay, and the way Friday works is we have stories that were not chosen by both Jeff and Blake throughout the week. They come back for a second shot at glory. Hopefully these are headlines you remember from earlier in the week and you're like, I wish they would have picked that story. Well, here we go. They are going to get a second chance at it. Jeff is in the studio. Blake Olson in the news department. Gentlemen, here are our returning contestants. Headline number 1, just following instructions. Headline number 2, keeping it alive. Number 3, supporting the team. And headline number 4, kind of like in Game of Thrones. Jeff, your choice.
Let's go Olympics and support the team, please.
Yes, here we've got to support the team. And yes, we do find ourselves at the Olympics in beautiful Milan, Italy. This is the story of Italian police who had been tracking a 44-year-old Slovakian man for 16 years. He's been wanted on warrants. They need to capture this guy. They have not been able to find him at all. And someone inside of the meeting room with the police department had an idea. Wonder if he's a fan of his team and he's going to come to the Olympics. Well, that person was right, and they should get a promotion. Police arrested the 44-year-old Slovakian national, acting on a warrant that was issued against him 16 years earlier. The police force said they figured he may just show up to see the Slovakian national team play in the Winter Olympics, and they were right. They tracked him down after he checked into a guest house on the outskirts of Milan and took him to the central police station. He had planned on attending Slovakia's opening ice hockey game Wednesday. He has 11 months and 7 days to serve on a string of burglaries that he committed back in 2010. So, yes. Yeah, he did. He showed up for the Olympics. And they're like, do you think he'd be dumb enough to? Well, let's try. And yes, sure enough, their persistence paid off. Now, Blake, your choice, sir. Following instructions, keeping it alive, or like in Game of Thrones?
Keeping it alive.
Yeah, keeping it alive. Social media can get awkward after someone closest to you passes away. But never fear. Mark Zuckerberg and Meta is coming to the rescue. The rescue. They are now working on artificial intelligence that will keep Nana alive after she's dead. Yeah.
Saw this, and they'll post
yes.
for them as well.
Yes, they will
it's
post.
It's not just like the remember page.
No. They will post as if it is Nana. Yes,
Yeah.
the AI is going to analyze
Happy birthday, little Jeffrey.
Exactly. The previous interactions of the user, and through AI, it will then replicate the person. Because what's creepier than hearing from your friends and loved ones after they've passed away, especially on social media? It's ridiculous. In fact, this is how far they're going. Many people didn't hear this one. The technology is working on cloning the voice. That if the person uploads a voice or any sort of a message into Facebook, they'll clone the voice.
Oh, yeah.
And then Nana can send you birthday wishes from beyond the grave.
Have you seen all the problems that Hollywood's having right now?
Yeah.
Like they put in like a 2-sentence statement, like Brad Pitt fight Tom Cruise, and it's so good.
Yeah.
The Hollywood's like, what do we do now? So I could absolutely see Grandma comes back now.
Yeah, and Meta has said that even though we've been granted the patent for this technology, it doesn't guarantee that we will pursue it. And then they did the little Mr. Burns thing with the excellent. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I think it's just dumb. I'm like, who'd want? I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. Okay, Jeff, final choice this morning, sir. Following instructions or like in Game of Thrones?
Following instructions.
Following instructions, we find ourselves on the Southern Sea in England. An Amazon delivery driver in the United Kingdom is going to have a very difficult performance update next time around because, well, while he was just following directions, the GPS in the truck drove him right into the water. The van drove on a 6-mile path of mudflats, which, if you look at them, are obviously not intended for vehicles. There's no way this is an actual road at all. A local who runs guided walks around the stretch says, this is often referred to as the deadliest footpath in all of Britain. Well, what are we doing driving on this? They were surprised that the driver was even able to escape the van safely. Like, people don't make it out of here sometimes. So what are you doing bringing the truck down here? That's absolutely ridiculous. And we have a few minutes left, so we are going to have a bonus story.
Bonus one.
And this is my favorite of the week, like in Game of Thrones. I'm so happy we have time for this. We find ourselves in Montgomery County, Maryland. A longtime police chief is going to have to spend the rest of his life in prison because he had a list, like in Game of Thrones. You remember Arya's list? Yeah, all the people that had wronged her. Well, David Crawford, 74, pleaded guilty just this past week of 2 counts of first-degree arson and 1 count of second-degree arson. But that's not the first time. He was sentenced back in 2023 for fires that he set in Howard County. He got 8 life sentences plus 75 years. Here's the deal. The dude that is the former police chief went around setting revenge fires at people's houses in the middle of the night that he felt wronged him. Now, here's the thing. Dude started this later in life. You know how you say when you retire, get older in years, you got to pick up a hobby? First fire was set allegedly when he was 64. He set a couple more when he was 65, a few more when he was 68, and continued into his 70s, setting fires in and around the county. In fact, here's the really crazy one. He has set not 1, but at least 2 fires at his stepson's house. Yeah. Stepson said he and his father-in-law had an angry argument at one point, or his father-in-law, and later on, house tries to go up in flames. Other local law enforcement employees, people that were elected officials, even the town mayor, all targets of these fires in the middle of the night. Yes. Now, no one was killed in any of the fires, but many people, including some young children, were forced to run out of the homes from the fire in the middle of the night, and some people lost almost all of their personal possessions while they watched their homes burn to the ground. Yeah.
Is that the movie Billy Madison where he apologizes to the guy who had the long, and he turns around, he has the list, and he scratches it off? Do you remember that?
I wonder if it is Billy Madison.
And then he puts lipstick on.
I wonder if it is. I don't remember if it is or not, but I do remember the list. Yeah,
right,
the one that I remember most is Arya's list because she would recite that one over and over again.
People that have wronged me,
and Joffrey was on top. So yeah,
to think he could have just picked up pickleball.
I know he could have. That's just annoying and loud.
Well, speaking of people that have been wronged, RTD plans to cut jobs to help cover the budget deficit. Billy, you remember our coverage of RTD and the fact that 90% of its operating revenue comes from the government.
Yeah, and a lot of it is derived from sales taxes, and sales taxes drops, and so they get less money.
Yeah, it has almost no money left, and so it's facing a projected $250 million shortfall and has cut $10.7 million.
Jeez.
So that's not going to do much of a dent. But yeah, and one of the people that they've cut out of this,
who?
Okay, includes, oh gosh, where did that go? I lost it on the text here. But anyways,
we'll have to look. You can share it with us right after the break.
You ready? Deputy Assistant Chief Operating Officers.
Wow.
So yeah, they're going to be eliminating the General Superintendent as well.
I'm sure this will improve things.
You're right. Exactly. So, speaking of people that might be wronged, former employees at RTD. All right, we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. We'll be right back.